It's about 9:30 Central. It's nighttime. I'm gonna go over BTU. I took a starter position in this. I took it as a debit spread, a call debit spread, or a vertical spread. Um, and I did that as a starter position. And I'm going to show you how I usually go about hedging it. Should it not go in our favor, right? Um, a lot of traders will talk about, um, the profits they're going to make, but you don't hear too many people talking about, well, what if it goes against you? How can we either really, neuter the bleeding or actually turn it into a gain, even if it goes against us, right? So I'm going to kind of explain a quick little way to do that, and it's all based on your deltas. So here, here's the daily. Um, it's looking good. It's charting itself out in this pattern. I don't know if it's going to break out or break down. Um, I do have this little price point here as a potential means to finally start hedging. You do got to let it work a little bit here in the 1 hour. This is a little price point here, but if it breaks below this pattern, you can start hedging it completely, and let's say we can get a little bit of gains on the, to the downside. That way we can just get out, just exit. So I'm going to show you all the position that I have. I picked out these call options that are 44 days away from May 20th. Um, there was a lot of volume in all these, and this does look like someone kind of was following my idea, although they were probably first to get situated in it, obviously. But I do like to take some of these positions pretty leveraged. Um, sometimes I'll go with a delta 30 or 35. In this case, delta 41. And if BTU moves in our favor, I mean, it moves. Like, it'll move. It'll move $5-6, on a good day. So, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to control theta a little bit, and I thought, as a starter, I'll just start with a call debit spread before I take any directional position, right? Because I can add on top of this a separate position. So these are my long calls right here, strike 29, and these are my short calls, the calls I'm writing. Um, and I'm only, let's go to the Analyze tab right here. I'm only uh, long, three call debit spreads. That's all I am. So, um, of course, being that it's a spread, your max profit should be to you. I know this is an exaggerated move, but I'm just trying to prove a point here that your max profit would be, as you can see the number here, 1149, right? Um, but as BTU, we have 44 days. If it continues going higher, take its time. Just this little, spread alone can produce, some pretty good profits. Um, but if it does go against us, like right now, I'm down almost $28. Okay. And what I do is I look at my deltas here, 49 deltas, almost 50, and they're a positive. So if price does start really reversing on us, all I have to do is just look at these deltas and see what I need to do to make this neutral, right? To just kind of stop the bleeding, or maybe make it a little bit more biased to the downside where I would have negative deltas. Okay. And that way, if it does continue to the downside, like, given that it goes against me, and it continues going to the downside, I'll exit once I'm in a little bit of profits, I'll know when to exit, and that's it. And so you turn a loser into a winner, So being that we need about 50 deltas, I'll just go to the put side. Doesn't necessarily have to be at this point, with this same series here. I can go to the ones that are 8 days away. Let's say it's tomorrow and we're 7 days to expire in these. I just need to look for 50 deltas. Here I got 44, I got 53 here. So depending on what you want to spend, like put as more capital, um, you can do buy just one of these, or just one of these 53. So let's say you get fill for 205. Um, so once you do that, you'll see. Let me just put that. You'll see how if it does start accelerating to the downside, you'll start seeing how you start decreasing the amount that you're, I guess, losing, right? And of course, if it gets to a certain price point, you start making a little bit of profit going the opposite way, and then you can just get out, or and reassess the setup, the situation, before you take it long again, right? Given that right now we're in a commodities bull market, um, so I don't see that much downside happening. But then again, I mean, you never know. This market's 90% of it's all manipulated, maybe 100% of it, whatever. It doesn't mean that you can't make money off of it. You just gotta find the setup and just go with the flow, and that's the way it goes. So that's one way. Of course, it's just one put. I mean, if you want to go two puts, well, then you're going to spend $410, right? But of course, you'll start going into profits right away. Maybe not too much, but enough to just remove the position for a win, for a positive, and that's it. Now, if you don't go with these puts, let's say we go with a different strike, the one right below, which are delta 44s. Let's say you go with two of these, right? I know all we needed was 50 deltas to just completely neuter the deltas to zero, or put them at a negative. So here you'd be spending about $300. If I analyze that one, right, notice I unchecked the previous one, right? So got this. So now I'm at a negative 37 deltas. Spent $300 instead of 410. And you're still protecting your position. Then you just get out. It all just depends what price is doing, right? I'm just trying to paint a scenario here on how you can easily hedge, especially when you're starting with a debit spread, a call debit spread, and vice versa. It could be a put debit spread if you're taking something to the downside and then it reverses on you to where it starts going to the upside. You do the same thing, except if you're playing with puts, your deltas are going to be negative to begin with, and if it reverses back to the upside, then you got to make those deltas now a positive, right? It's just they reverse the roles, um, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I just wanted to kind of share that, see if it helps anyone, or you know, um, just trying to pay it forward, right? Um, so yeah, so I mean, I'm sorry, BTU looks pretty interesting. It's got my attention, and we'll see what happens. So I'll leave y'all with that. Have a good night.